Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Honorable City Council members, Mayor, Deputy Clerk, to our City Attorney, our Chief of Staff, to our administrative staff that are here this evening, to those who are viewing tonight's broadcast via our broadcast channel and YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Monday, May 13th, 2024. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card, which is located on the table in the back, and then hand it to our deputy clerk. And at this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo? Here. Councilman Barden?
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe is excused this evening. Councilwoman Talley? Here. Councilman Wadsworth?
Here.
Councilwoman Williams? Here. And Councilman Wilson?
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
Honorable Council, we have submitted to you an amended agenda for this evening. We've added two items under the mayor's report, agenda items 5E and 5F. And the amended regular meeting agenda is as follows: number 1, agenda; number 2, minutes; 3, petitioner; 4, chairperson's report; 5, mayor's report; 6, clerk's report; 7, treasurer's report; 8, public comment; 9, unfinished business; 10, new business; 11, warrant; number 12, communication; and number 13, adjournment. And a motion will be in order to accept the amended regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the regular, amended regular meeting, council meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo for the amended agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Agenda item 2A, request approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, May 6, 2024 at 7:30 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna move for the approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on Monday, May 6th at 7:30.
Support.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo for approval of the minutes from our regular meeting held on Monday, May 6th at 7:30. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Agenda item 2B, request approval of the minutes from the special meeting, public hearing held on Monday, May 6, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. And this was to discuss the City of Romulus 2024-25 fiscal year budget as outlined in Chapter 9, Section 9.3 of the Romulus City Charter.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna move for the approval of the minutes from the special meeting of the public hearing that was held on Monday, May 6th at 6:30, and this was to discuss the City of Romulus 24-25 budget.
I second that motion.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from a special meeting, public hearing held on Monday, May 6th at 6:30 to discuss the City of Romulus 2025 fiscal year budget as outlined in Chapter 9, Section 9.3 of the Romulus City Charter. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you. There are no petitioners on tonight's agenda. Takes us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We had a 6:30 meeting tonight, public hearing of a proposed fiscal year 24-25 city budget. I just want to thank the mothers for Mother's Day. That was Sunday. And I just want to congratulate all the mothers for a great job last week. Thank the mothers for doing an outstanding job for raising so many great people.
Yes.
Also, I want to say, the budget, I made a mistake. I just want to say, we had a budget meeting tonight, closed session meeting tonight from attorney opinion. So I just want to correct that. I was just so tied up in the mothers. You know, you mothers do such a great job, so I was just so tied up in that.
Yes, you're welcome.
And that concludes the chairperson's report.
Through the chair, I'd like to make the motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Williams, for approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council, Madam Clerk, Deputy Clerk, audience here today, and also the audience at home. Before I get into my report, I'd like to draw your attention to the monitors, where we have an announcement from Ms. Vanessa Tolliver from the Mayor's Office.
Community Shred Day will take place on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Romulus City Hall complex. This is a drive-through event. You will drive up, and the electrocycles employees will remove the boxes, dump the documents, and return the boxes to your vehicle. Limited to 2 boxes per vehicle. Boxes should be no larger than 15 inches by 12 inches. Free dumping day of excess trash and up to 3 bulk items will take place on the south lot at the DPW building on May 16th to May 18th. The hours for Thursday and Friday are from 8:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. and 8:30 to 2 p.m. on Saturday. The spring free citywide yard sales will be held May 16th through the 19th. Please contact the city clerk's office or our website for more information to register. Thanks, everyone. Remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more information. And have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Vanessa. Great job as always. A couple things I wanted to talk to you about with council and also residents who are paying attention. Right now, the state is going through a redistricting process, and we remember a couple years ago they did that with their state House representatives, and in my opinion, they watered down our voice in the city of Romulus. Right now, they're redistricting and they're proposing different maps with the Senate. And I am concerned that they're going to dilute our voice again. So we want to make sure our residents are paying attention to this, and also elected officials that will be supplying information right now. Right now, the board is just looking at different proposals, and you're allowed to comment on different maps. But in several maps, I've seen them cut Romulus right in half. And some they've moved Romulus into a different district. Right now, we're represented by Senator Camilleri, and he's the senator that we elected to represent us. And so anytime that this board talks about changing that or watering down his voice or our representation, I'm going to make sure I bring it to this board. But it's going to take more than just one person talking about this to make sure we're on this. So we want to keep communicating. So stay tuned. We're going to put some things on the city's website, social media, to direct the people where to go and how they can voice their concerns and opinions. And we would just want to make sure that Romulus is represented by the senator that we elected. So,
Mayor?
but
Yes. I was just up in Kalamazoo in front of the Western Supreme Court judges. And it looks like, because no one has been actually representing this area, Western Wayne County. And so it actually appeared from the maps that that commission have drawn, we're going to end up with 2 state senators. I spoke in front of them on several occasions, and they don't want to budge. And I can't understand how we can be a city of 26,000 folks, and we end up with 3 state reps and 2 senators, and this will go on for the next 10 years until the next census. So, Darren give you some updated information where people need to chime in and attune those Zoom meetings. If I'm not mistaken, the deadline for them to have that in front of the Supreme Court judges is this month.
I believe so.
So
But
they
the
can
maps-
vote on it.
There's several that, I think today I looked at map number 379, so there's so many different maps proposed in different districts and different boundaries, and several of them show Romulus cut right in half, and
Right
I'm very
in half.
concerned about that. So we've already talked to legal representation, we've talked to our lobbyists up in Lansing, the Much More in Harrington group, to make sure we're represented, and we want to make sure that everybody reaches out on this. It's very important, in my opinion, because if you have somebody who has a small portion of our community, but they're representing 4 other communities, they're going to go to where the most votes are at, and they're going to represent. So we finally have a senator that we elected, and it's got taken time to get to know Romuluses and the nuances that are Romulus. I'm very concerned about it, so stay tuned for more information and direction, and this is something we need to take care of as a team.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms.
So
Talley.
what do we need to do? I mean, what can we do to get our voice heard?
Well, you can go on the, I'll send the email
you
link
send the
around,
information
because
out?
it's not an easy process, so
Oh,
we
it's
want to make
not.
sure when we share it, we've
Of
had to
course.
sort through the website, I've been commenting on the maps.
Okay.
But they're open for comment right now.
Okay.
Nothing's, the ship hasn't sailed yet, so to speak.
Okay. You'll get us
But
that
right now, it's kind
information.
of a convoluted process, but you can get there. And I
Okay.
want to make sure I have clear direction on how to get there and
Okay.
let the residents know and where they should go to comment.
Okay, thank you.
And also, even before we get here moving forward, when the census come out, we need to act on that. We need to have the state senators, the state representatives, and we as the elected officials here need to be making sure we're counted, because this is one of the main reasons this is taking place, because majority of the people in Romulus is not counted. It has a lot to do with how we get split up, and it also has a big deal on how much money we get from the state and the federal government. So reporting how many people is in your household or how many people is in the city is so very important. The next time they'll do it in 10 years, but we need to start educating people before we get to that point so we can get the correct funding from the federal government and the state. Thank you, Mayor.
And split that map directly conflicts with the One Romulus initiative. This is one community. You can't have a community where somebody on this side of town is represented by a different senator whose best interests are going to be served in Canton,
Yes.
Plymouth, and Wayne, Westland, and Livonia area. So stay tuned on that. We're going to make sure we're sharing that information, and if they do decide to redistrict, they're going to definitely know our opinion on the matter. So stay tuned for more details. Also, something I want to bring to council's aware and also the public. We all have heard the story about the ASR and the concrete, and where the concrete failed years ago, and we're having the issues now, the bad materials in there. Unfortunately, we're starting to see it again in the industry. They've changed the ingredients in concrete to satisfy EPA requirements, and it's created another product that you see some flat work we did right out here at City Hall, where it's flaking off the top. They say it's not structural. I beg to differ. So we're watching it very careful. Roberto's working with leaders in the industry right now to sort it out. We're kind of pumping the brake on concrete projects we got right now because we want to make sure that this is settled. We want to do it right. We don't want to replace bad concrete with concrete that's going to fail again in 5 years. So we're very concerned about that, and I know council approved us working on some concrete projects. We're slowing down on that right now just to make sure it's taken care of. We brought LJ from Osborne Concrete. He's seen it on his end. We've talked to Taylor, Livonia. There's some other issues. So it's an industry-wide issue. It's not just a Romulus issue, but I want to let the public and council know, like, hey, we're not going to keep moving forward with projects that are approved when we know that there might be another issue that could lead to premature concrete failure, and then we're doing, this again in 5 to 10 years. So just some things we're working on there, and I want to make council aware of that. So that being said, I'd like to get into the action items I have for council tonight. The first one I have is approval of the budget, General and Special Appropriations Act, and tax levy authorization for fiscal year 2024 and 2025. And as I stated before in the presentation, we still have a great bare knuckles budget. Our directors did a great job on needs over wants once again. We had a slight increase in spending in public safety, recreation, and also our roads, oddly enough. So other than that, it's another great bare knuckles budget. So that being said, pursuant to Section 9.4 of the Romulus City Charter, I have attached for your adoption the General and Special Appropriations Act and tax levy authorization for the City of Romulus and 34th District Court fiscal year 2024 and 2025.
Through the chair,
Yes, Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and adopt the General and Special Appropriations Act and tax levy authorization for the City of Romulus and 34th District Court fiscal year 2024 to 25 as submitted by Mayor McCray.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for General and Special Appropriations Act and tax levy authorization fiscal year 2024-25. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I'm looking at on the first page, it will be page 11, up under section 2. And it's, all of these amounts add up to the amount of the operation of the city, the $24,907,000. 907,417. Is that the total amount that the city will spend for a year?
The general fund.
If we spend everything.
Good evening, council, mayor, administrative staff, and presidents. The expenditures that you're referencing, those are all of those that are housed within the general fund. So those are not all the expenses for all the funds, just the 101 general fund.
Just the 101. So you mean to tell me, so that's 24 million is just for those departments?
Correct.
Why so much? I mean, I'm looking at some of these budgets.
So within the financial services, you'll see the 14 million. Also, what's included there is a transfer to public safety. So that's why that number is so large.
Well, and I understand finance services also include other departments. Am I
Correct.
correct? Okay,
Yes.
so, I'm just amazed at, so what is, if this is just for the departments, what is it totally for all the other, the expenses of the city?
So for example, each section here, so if we go to section 2, which is a general fund, and then if you go to section 3, that is major roads. These are all the funds and the expenses and the revenues that we're expecting for fiscal year 24-25. So they're broken out by funds. The general fund houses most of the expenses, especially the transfer to public safety. If you go to local streets, the actual public safety fund, you'll see that it's $17 million. The athletic center. So every fund that makes up the whole budget is included in this Appropriations Act.
That's what I'm saying. So everything beyond page 2, section, is that page 11, the 24 million. So everything else is included in this. This is what I'm asking.
That is not correct, no.
So what is the city budget for a year?
So you would take each section of each fund, and I could total those up and give you that number. So each one has, it's broken out by the appropriations according to fund.
I'm just looking at a lot of them, and even with the court, I've never received, I don't know what the rest of the council members accepted, but I didn't receive something that was actually acceptable from the court. I don't know how many years it's been, and they still refusing to turn over documents that many council members have asked for. You can't stand in front of a judge and refuse to give a judge absolutely any document without them locking you up or charging you for something. So I don't think it's fair for every year the judge to come over here and just give us something that looks like an elementary student or took something out of our budget and gave it to us to approve it, and then to combine it with the city. I understand the agreement. The mayor's office made sure we got that to show why we're doing what we're doing with the court. But at the same time, when you ask for a budget, they should give us a detailed budget, just like the city do. Whether I agree with it or not, we should have it, and not just say, well, I know I got enough votes, so I'm just gonna, so it's not making sense for as small as our city is. And what I'm looking at is, I don't want us to run into a brick wall to where we gotta go to the residents down the road. We pass this, we go down to the residents later on and say, hey, we need a millage, we need to increase the millage because we don't have enough money. Because look, I'm trying to understand the total amount of the city budget. Is it 54, 60 million? What are we operating with everything for the whole year?
So I could total up those numbers and give it to the mayor's office. We can share it with council. I don't have a calculator on me. However, if you take each of the sections, it shows appropriations by fund. That's how it's historically been broke out.
I
The general
understand it.
fund houses all of other expenses that are not appropriated in other funds.
What I'm saying, Maria,
I can try, do you want me to add them up right now for you?
no, what I'm saying to you, and I just asked this question before we take the vote. What I'm saying to you, you're the finance director, is not the mayor or his chief of staff to do this. That number should automatically be able to just roll off your lips instead of telling me either I can add it up or you can add it up. It's just a lot of things that don't seem right with me, I'm not comfortable with, and so I just wanted to bring that up. I've never known our city budget to be this big. And I don't know where the increases are, or what's going on, but it just doesn't sit right. And one thing I don't want to do, and anybody that knows me, I'm not asking the taxpayers to absolutely increase, going in their pockets, giving more money later on down the road because we're spending like this. This is unbelievable. So, and that's just my opinion. You don't have to add anything up. I can see that it's more than, the 25 million.
If I can interject also, so this budget also not only balances, but it also shows a 35% fund balance. When all the industry standards show 20 to 25, this is a very modest budget, and we're far from asking the residents and taxpayers for an additional tax or a millage. Like I said, we have a very healthy 35% fund balance on this. A slight increase, like I said, in public safety, roads, recreation, all priorities to our residents. We felt worthwhile, and like I said, still a balanced budget with a very healthy fund balance. So,
And so Mayor, I'm looking at it. Who's included in your budget other than the 4 individuals that I'm aware of?
Well, Maria, can you talk
I mean,
to
is it
that?
more than 4 individuals? Because I might be missing something, that's what I'm saying.
There could be chargebacks for other positions, because when people do different responsibilities, we do chargebacks positions to make sure if I'm doing work for the building department through planning, we can charge back those departments for some of my salary, so to speak. So there's it's a kind of a liquid answer, so, Maria, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so for example, under the mayors, you have the mayor and human resources. Okay?
Okay, that's it, I'm good.
Okay.
So I didn't know that because it's not clear. It just says the mayor. So I wasn't for sure if, and I know how many they have in the human resources, but when you just give this plain document like this and, it's not broke down.
On the preliminary budget that I submitted, there's a function summary. It aligns with these numbers too. So if you use that as a reference, it'll show the departments, and also will show who is housed in there. And it's categorized that way and subtotaled that way. This appropriations acts as a snapshot of the expenditures that aligns with the prelim budget.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Through the chair. Just for the record, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we were going through the budget sessions, the 2 budget sessions that we had. And I sat in on the budget meetings for the week with all the directors. And I just want to say again that you guys, like the mayor was saying, for wants over needs, I went through that, and the directors and the departments had a clear handle on your department. So I just want to thank you guys again. You had a clear handle on your departments. I took the week off from work because I want to make sure I'm clear on what's going on with the budget process. So I take the whole week off from work so I can be clear, because I'm one of the few members that have to work a job, council people that work a job, but I took the week off so that I can be clear on what the budget is saying, and getting down into the details, the footnotes, and you did a really good job running them budget meetings and asking those questions of the directors, and consequently, they answered the questions. So I just want to thank you for the process you had, the mayor and the chief of staff and all the directors and departments head. The budget meetings ran very smoothly and swiftly. So when I got the preliminary budget and subsequently this, I was clear. So I just want to just put that out there. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I just want to put that out there again because I was very clear on what was going on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Maria, before you sit down, I'm looking at the council budget. So I know Councilwoman Talley said she sit in budget meetings, and I didn't know anything that we could sit in a budget meeting. I know they came, all the departments came to council. So who made up the council's budget? Are you aware of?
If I can, through the chair?
Yes.
We submitted the numbers for the council budget. We submitted those numbers based off of, the previous year and the current year. And then during the study session, that's when it's presented to you all to ask those questions of the numbers that are submitted in that budget.
I think I said this the last time. So the council has no, and I understand you saying during the budget time. My concern is who, before it actually gets to this document, decides what the council budget is going to be.
My understanding that we put the numbers in, and then it's submitted to you all to go over and review those numbers. We just place those numbers in based off of, the previous year's numbers, and then whatever, moving forward, we submit the numbers, because the council budget falls under the clerk's umbrella.
Right.
So then that is submitted, that preliminary budget is submitted to you all. We just put the numbers in, then you all are to review it and discuss it, and if you have questions and want something changed, or during that time, that's during that study session. My understanding was that budget was emailed to you all. The council's budget was emailed to you all prior to.
I didn't get it. I'm just saying it because I asked the same question last year, because I'm thinking, because it's council, when do the council, outside of it's time to go over the budget, when do council meet? Even like doing a meeting, a regular meeting, when do they discuss this? Because this is, if I'm not mistaken, the third year. It's just presented, this is what council did, and that's it.
It was March 27th. March 27th, that budget was emailed to all of council individually. Just that page, when we submit the numbers, that was emailed to all of you. And then during the study sessions and things, that's where you all discuss it and ask the questions, or if anything needs to be changed during, at that study session, that is the time then you all would, that's that meeting that you all would say, hey, I disagree with this number, or you would let the finance director know and say, or either when we emailed it, you all could have, once you've reviewed it, contact us and say, hey, what's going on with this, with these numbers, and then we would explain it. But it is discussed during those preliminary meetings, those interviews with the mayor, chief of staff, finance department, when all the departments have to sit down and, here's our budget, these are our numbers, our projected numbers. But we wanted to make sure that just the council budget, that we email those, but that, your budget to you, for you to review and if you have questions or changes, to let us know. And then during that study session, then you all could, discuss it, and if you decide on changes and things. So no one got back to us and said they disagree with anything or to change the numbers that were submitted.
Like I said, I've always had, in the last several years, regardless of what the rest of these council members believe or feel, I just think it should be more clear when we're doing a budget, especially, because everybody else have a decision. Not just somebody else make up the council budget and say, look, it could have been an oversight. I'm not for sure. But here we go again this year. And I'm looking at some of these budgets and it's,
I'm sorry, Councilwoman.
I'm good. I'm gonna cut it off.
Yeah.
All I can say is I totally don't agree. I don't agree with a lot of these budgets. I don't agree with the court budget being combined with the city budget again, especially with the judge and those over there at the court know that we wanted something separate. We wanted it detailed, and they're refusing to give it to us. So that's just all I have to
Right,
say.
and in addition, Councilwoman Williams, in addition to that email, because we put the numbers in, and we submit it to you all to review. We also gave you a hard copy in your packets, and Dejan had a memo attached to that. It would have been March, the end of March, before we had our study sessions. So, I don't know what else that we can do in addition to just providing, we want to make sure, because you've stated that before, in
Yes.
the previous years.
I have.
So we've always our practice now, we submit those numbers, because we have to put the numbers in, and then we give that to you all, your budget, we email it to you, and we put it in your packet for you all to discuss, decide, especially when you meet at the study session regarding your budget.
And maybe and I'm just saying it this time, so hopefully it'll catch on and I'll pay more attention next year. But maybe it can be more of a verbal instead of sending. Sometimes emails and different things kind of get looked over. So maybe it can be a verbal conversation so it can be more to the attention, because I'm just looking at everybody else met, everybody else had a conversation and said what they need for the year and what they was doing for the year. And I don't know if any of these council members, if they did, they didn't say anything. And if different ones went to a meeting, I didn't know if. I'm just saying, just moving forward, can it be, instead of just an email or something stuck in our packet, can it be a personal conversation so it could definitely be known?
We can
I
do that.
appreciate it.
We can do that, so noted.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No?
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up for action is a no-fee permit request for Elmer Johnson's. I concur with the request of Colleen Dumas, Recreation Director, and respectfully request the City Council authorize a no-fee permit for the use of Elmer Johnson's Park Pavilion on August 17, 2024 for the First Baptist Church Annual Picnic.
Through the chair,
Ms. Talley?
I would like to make that motion and concur with administration and authorizing no-fee permit for the use of the Elmer Johnson's Park Pavilion on August 17, 2024 for First Baptist Church Annual Picnic. And just a side note, the services are open to the community to come and fellowship.
Support?
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Williams, for a no-fee permit for Elmer Johnson's Park First Baptist Church Annual Picnic. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you. The next item I have up is in line with the intent behind the administration to make sure our local officials are aware of issues, and then we have pass a resolution in support of or opposed to certain legislation as they affect our city. So we're going to continue to work those out. And this one was particularly concerning to us because it affected the ability for the court to raise revenues and function. So we've been working closely with that one. But as these things go, at the last minute, there was a slight change. So action is not required. I'm going to let Attorney Steve Hitchcock explain to council what happened with that House bill.
There were actually two bills before, House bills. One was to extend the right for the courts to collect the cost of court operations from penalties against defendants who are found guilty or pled guilty. That was expiring May 1 of this year. And so right before May 1, that did pass, extending that until December 31st of 2026. But as a companion piece of legislation with that, there was a proposal that the State Court Administrator's Office with the Department of Treasury was to work up a plan for alternate funding for the courts that would not require, I guess in their view, that the defendants in the cases would have to pay as much as they are now paying for the operation of a court. And the reason we wanted you to pass a resolution, as it was worded then, it talks about the State Court Administrator's Office and the Treasury Department, when in fact all of the district courts have funding units and local governments are paying those costs, that they're not collected through fines to the defendants. Friday, they amended that and they took out the Department of Treasury's direct role in it, and it says that, now it says that the State Court Administrator's Office is to work with the local units of government who are affected by this to come up with a plan to recommend to the legislature. And it clearly says in there, the other thing we were concerned about was the fact that we have a big debt on our court building. Some other communities may or may not have as much. One of the specific things listed in the amendment was that they had taken into consideration was pre-existing debt of court facilities related to construction or maintenance of those facilities. So I think the concern that the Romulus, as the funding unit, would have the right to participate in this discussion has been resolved by that amendment on Friday of the legislation. So it's no longer necessary, but this is still an important issue we got to follow, make sure that whatever the end result is going to get recommended to the legislature is something that, you know, we can live with going forward for the funding of the court.
Yeah, crucial legislation, in my opinion, can have a big negative effect on local municipalities at House Court. 35th District Court was unaware of this language, and that's part of the benefit of Romulus belonging to groups like CWW, DCC, and MML. I make sure we have our, you know, because they can pass this legislation and modify it so quickly. And you see what happened here. If they realize there's opposition to it, then they change the language at the last minute and to get these things passed. So they pass before you know it, and we're going to give council as much leeway and time as we can. But if we see important legislation like that, we want to take a resolution to our elected officials if we can. That way when they're voting, they know that they're voting on our behalf. So as we said, on the long way around it, there's no action required on this last night, but that's why we had it on here. This is a very important topic. We were watching. We wanted the council to take action if required. So thankfully it's not needed.
Through the chair, a quick question. Yes. So, because I almost thought, remember the judge kept talking about the state court administration kind of take, I thought it was kind of on that lines. I guess it's not on that lines of what they were talking about, the state court.
Well, the legislature would have to come up with the money.
Okay.
The state court administrator is the administrative operation of the courts, but it doesn't have a revenue source.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yes.
They would have to, right, okay. Nope, I get it. Thank you. Yeah.
Any further questions on that?
Yeah.
No? Oh, yeah, okay.
So this is just to say that we need state representatives to look at this and consider.
Yes, that was the concern of the original resolution. But as I said, they have modified it, excuse me, now so that it does say shall work with the local units of government in coming up with this plan, which it didn't say before. The version you've got there was prior to the action they took on Friday.
So if they wouldn't have added that language on Friday, I would have been asking council for a resolution opposing that, that legislation.
Oh, so they just took this on this past Friday?
Yes.
Yes.
After that memo had already been prepared, was in your packet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry about the confusion, just want to make sure we explain to council what the process was there. The next item I have is for a Mary Ann Banks park renovation. I don't know why it says memorial in there. I concur with the recommendation of Jerry Frayer, DDA Director, and Gary Harris, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request council award ITB 23-24-10 for renovations to Mary Ann Banks Park to the lowest, most responsive bidder, Premier Group LLC, in the amount of $283,095.89, plus a contingency of $8,738.11. The DDA will contribute $191,933, and the city's general fund will contribute the remaining $99,901. Maria Ferris, Finance Director, has verified these funds have been allocated for.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to move that we approve some ITB 23/24-10. It's for the Mary Ann Banks Memorial Park renovation.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for ITB 23/24-10 Mary Ann Banks Memorial Park renovation. Any discussion?
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
Mayor, if I could, is the ring going to be redone?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
That's included in the work, and they're going to be striping it for pickleball and also the world-renowned curling royale.
World-renowned curling event, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Biggest outdoor curling event in Michigan.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you. The next one, and I apologize for the late announcement on this one, we had to call an audible a little bit. Our Meals on Wheels van had a failure today, and the only way to make it roadworthy was for our mechanics to weld the doors shut. We felt it was a crucial piece of equipment because it served over 100,000 meals to our seniors last year. So we're asking for this modification to the agenda just to make sure that we can move forward with purchase that vehicle. So I concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, DBW Director, and Gary Harris, Purchasing Director, and respectfully request council's authorization to piggyback on the My Deal contract number 07B77-00181 for the purchase of one 2023 Ford Transit HR T250. The van for the price of $50,995 from Gorno Ford for the Romulus Senior Center. Maria Ferris, Finance Director, has verified the funds are available for this purchase upon the BA of 23-24-17 Motor Vehicle Fund.
Chair, okay.
Make that motion to piggyback on the MID deal contract for the purchase of one 2023 Ford Transit HRT 250 van for the senior center.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Ms. Abdo, for piggyback on the MI deal contract for the purchase of one 2023 Ford Transit HRT 250 van for senior center. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Thank you, Mayor, because, you know, the amount of money that we're spending getting this deal piggybacking, you be done spent that if you keep putting money into an old vehicle that keep breaking down. So thank you, Mayor, for always keeping the seniors in mind.
Thank you.
If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. And that vehicle was approved for purchase in the 24-25
Yes.
budget, but because of the failure we had recently, we had to do the budget amendment, which is why we're here. We did find this vehicle on the lot. They wouldn't hold it for us, so we had to act quickly. So I appreciate council taking quick action at the last minute on this one. And I hereby request introduction of Budget Amendment 23-24-17 for the purchase of a Ford Transit HR T250 for the Senior Center.
Need a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Williams, need a second?
Support.
Second by Ms. Abdo for introduction of Budget Amendment 23/24-17. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Tally.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. And once again, I'd like to thank council for approval of the budget tonight, and also my administrators for doing a great job balancing the budget again, and the needs over want, very modest budget. And hats off to Maria Ferris and her team, all the hard work they put into this one. It's a good budget. It still adds to our fund balance, increases funding in specific areas, and it's transparent. It's right out there. So thank you very much, and that will conclude my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Number 6 is the clerk's report. Council, I have 3 action items under my report this evening. The first, under 6A, is we're asking approval for the proposed fiscal year 24-25 City of Romulus fee schedule. The proposed municipal fee schedule will go into effect July 1, 2024, and we did provide a complete copy in your packet.
Through the chair,
Yes, Ms. Tally.
I'd like to make that motion and concur with administration for the approval of the City of Romulus fee schedule for the 2024-25 proposed municipal, for this effective July 1st, 2024.
Support.
Who's second?
Abdo.
It's been motioned by Ms. Tally, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the proposed 2024-25 fiscal year municipal free schedule. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, council. And I also want to thank the Deputy Clerk, Deshaun Hockenhall, for putting together our fee schedule. We started this back in, I believe it's 2013, and there's a lot of work that goes into our fee schedule, and also we want to thank all the departments, working together and coordinate for the fees, for a fee schedule. So, thank you. Agenda item 6B. We're asking for, this is a resolution of necessity of public hearing request. In accordance with Chapter 50, Special Assessments, Sections 50-1 and 50-3 of the City of Romulus Code of Ordinance, Julie Albert, Director of Assessing and Financial Services, is requesting that council adopt a resolution determining the need for the renewal and expansion of the Merriman Smith, Wickham, and Binding Enhancement Project, in which the improvements and annual maintenance will be specially assessed to the taxpayers in this district, and schedule a 15-minute public hearing on Tuesday, May 28, 2024, at 7:00 p.m. to discuss and hear any objections to the proposed improvements. Taxpayers in the Special Assessment District will be notified by mail of the public hearing in addition to its advertisement in the newspaper in accordance with the Romulus Code of Ordinance. At the next regular council meeting after the public hearing, June 3rd, 2024, the City Council shall by resolution determine whether to proceed with the Special Assessment District. If council determines to proceed with the improvement, the city assessor shall prepare the proposed assessment roll, and another public hearing will be requested to discuss and hear objections to the proposed assessment roll.
Through the chair,
Ms. Tally?
I'd like to make that motion for the resolution of necessity for improvement, Merriman Special Assessment District and special meeting public hearing request for Tuesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. And I do have a question.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Tally, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for a resolution of necessity for improvement and special meeting public hearing request for Tuesday, May the 28th, 24, at 7 p.m. Discussion, Ms. Tally.
Yes, Julie, quick question. It says for the renewal and expansion, I know this is going to be coming under discussion, but can you give us a heads up of what we're trying to do here?
Absolutely, absolutely. On Merriman Road, there exists a special assessment district now from, let's say, Flynn up to just north of Leonardo's. The special assessment district is responsible for the landscape maintenance, the pedestrian lighting, the new banners, the banner poles, things of that nature, beautification flowers on Merriman Road. We would need to renew that special assessment district, but while doing that, it made sense to expand it to include Wickham, south of Merriman to Wick, Wick from Wickham to Vining Road from 94 up to E-Course, and then Smith Road between Vining and Merriman to do landscape maintenance, possibly a welcome sign on the Vining median at 94, things of that nature.
Gotcha. Is it going to be a significant increase to?
At this point, I don't think it will be an increase to the folks on Merriman, no. I think they may see a decrease in their special assessment that they've been paying.
Okay, thank you.
Because we're kind of spreading it out
Over
across
a
the
bigger,
properties.
gotcha.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
And I would just like to say thank you for actually including them, because they're, all of these different companies that's now located there that maybe wasn't there before. Thank you for making them pay their fair share to help beautify the city, because that's just what it is. And so, thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Any other discussion from council? Roll call vote. Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Last action item under my report, 6C, and this is a special meeting study session request for Monday, June 3rd, 2024 at 6 o'clock. The clerk's office is requesting a one-hour study session for Monday, June 3rd, 2024 at 6 o'clock p.m. And this is to review and discuss the 11 applications submitted for the honorary street sign dedication program. So the time and date are available. And in addition, the reason why we wanted to bring it to you, you have your study session, you can decide how you want to do it, how you want to make the selection, but at least you'll have time to review those applications. The applications will be included in your packet for, leading up to that study session request.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to move that we approve a special meeting and a study session to be held on Monday, June the 3rd at 6 p.m.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Williams, for a special meeting study session request for Monday, June 3rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
All right,
Madam
there is
Clerk.
no treasurer's report this evening. Takes us to number 8, public comment, and this is a portion of the agenda for those who are in the audience and who would like to address the city council. The rules to address the city council can be found on the back of your meeting agenda. If you'd like to address the city council, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium, state your name, and please note that members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. We do not have any written requests to speak, Mr. Chair.
Any comments from the audience? If there's no comments from the audience, Madam Clerk, just close that part out.
Thank you. Number 9 is unfinished business. Number 10 is new business. Number 11 for approval is warrant 24-09.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we pay warrant 24-09 in the following amounts. General Fund, $273,450.35. Major Street Fund, $12,695.76. Local Street Fund, $135,707.17. Public Safety Fund, $27,887.95. Cable TV, $6,632.54. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $3,883. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $100,202.83. Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund, $111.20. Tax Increment Finance Authority, $71,769.84. Downtown Development Authority, $6,524.97. Michigan Indigent Defense Fund, $1,470. 911 Service Fund, $2,873.14. Library Fund, $110,100.69. CIP Bonds Court Building, $319,625. E-Course and Vining Capital Improvement Bonds, $159,000. Vining Road Extension E-Course Construction, $27,723. Water and Sewer Fund, $474,453.78. Motor Vehicle, $39,407.41. Technology Services, $21,371.48. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $136,160.04. Revolving Fund, $15,325.13. General Tax Fund, $6,007.50. Impressed Payroll Fund, $266,268.28. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $10,176.74. Totaling all funds of $2,228,827.80.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 2409 for $2,228,827.80. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes?
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Number 12 is communication.
And through the chair.
Ms. Talley?
A couple of quick things. I just want to shout out to the Chamber of Commerce for the great Person of the Year event they gave this past Friday of a deserving resident, David S. Jones. I just want to just shout him out. It was a great event. He was honored. It was just a fantastic event. So just want to just shout him out as well for being named Person of the Year from the Romulus Chamber of Commerce. Next, Relay for Life is gearing up. We're asking if you can support their event. They're having a Purse Palooza purse auction this Saturday, May 18th at Walters. Doors open at 4. Auction starts at 5 at the Romulus Lanes, located at 37452 West Huron River Drive. You can, they'll have new and gently used purses available. It should be a lot of fun. So if you have some time, please slide by Romulus Lanes for the Purse Palooza purse auction for the Relay for Life of Romulus. And just also, they are still trying to build up teams for the Relay for Life. They want to have a good count of teams by the end of May, so please, if you're interested, reach out to Shona at the Chamber of Commerce. She's there during the week, but you can reach out to Shona for the Relay for Life, also to sign up for a team for the Relay for Life for this upcoming year. I also want to shout out to Ms. Kathy Abdo for the reports that she gives. Thank you for taking my request seriously. I just want to thank you for taking my request seriously. She gave us a report for the Romulus Pension Committee meeting, and just thank you for that information, keeping us informed, being a council liaison on that committee, so thank you for that. And I think those are all mine for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
John?
Yes, sir. Mr.
If I
Wadsworth?
could, through the mayor, Roger, what is the problem with our channel 12? I've, some people that don't have computers can't watch cable
We
anymore.
have a problem with Comcast right now. It looks like our encoders are blown, and everybody in Michigan is trying to get their encoders all at the same time because they're switching over to HD. So there's been a backlog of trying to get the parts, but we're working with Comcast.
You're working on it with Comcast. Thank you.
Yeah, Romulus coming out, Bottom Cable coming back. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yes, just like to remind the residents out there, Forgotten Harvest, we're there at the high school from 10 to 12. The cutoff time is at 12 o'clock. Everyone is welcome. Thank you.
Mayor?
Through the chair, thank you. I got to give credit to our clerk for a great idea. I wanted to bounce off some different channels, but she suggested that council pass a resolution to send notification to the board on redistricting, saying that we are opposed to any modification to our district at all, with boundaries or our representation. So
Yes.
if council wants to make that motion, we can pass a
Yes,
resolution,
I will.
and it definitely can't hurt.
I'll make that motion, John.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Williams. Who supported that?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yeah.
Any discussion on that? No discussion, roll call vote.
Yes, I'm sorry. Who made, I'm sorry, Mr.
Mr.
Chair.
Williams made the
Okay.
motion, and
Okay.
Wadsworth seconded.
Thank you. I just
Okay.
want to make sure I had that clear.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion approved.
Thank you.
Clerk.
Thank you. If there is no more communication, takes us to number 13.
What is that?
Pardon?
What is number 13?
Oh, what?
Adjournment.
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
How soon will we be able to get that to?
We'll get started on the resolution, the language. We just have to look at how to
The maps.
implement it. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, how to structure the language for the resolution. We'll have to consult with our, with the city attorney so we can make sure we have the appropriate language in the resolution.
Okay, and then the information I have, I'll make sure I forward it to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, we will provide a copy to all of you with that resolution.
Thank
So
you.
we'll get on it right away.
And it may also need to be presented to the Western Supreme Court. Just a copy of it, to let those judges. Because who's to say if that committee will even consider it?
So noted. Okay, we will forward it to everyone.
Thank
that we
you.
think will read it, consider it. All right. Council, if we are done with city business,
We need-
takes us to number 13, adjournment.
So moved.
Oh, so that's number 13.
Second that motion.
Gotcha.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes?
Chair votes